Rabbi Levitt, Gemora, the 16th of October.
Well, the Mishnah says he could keep it because we assume that the owner of that item that was taken from was already Miyayish. And the Gemora said that, but both of these cases cannot go not like Rabbanan and not like Rabbi Shimon. The case of the Gazlan doesn't go like Rabbanan. The case of the Ganav doesn't go like Rabbi Shimon. And now we're up to Bishlema. Bishlema La'ula. So, you see where Bishlema La'ula is?
Yeah, it's on 114A4, the first paragraph. The Gemara provides a partial answer.
It's 114A5.
No, it's A4. It is for A4 on the right side.
Bishlema La'ula. Okay, Roy, want to read?
Yeah, you're right. There's two of them.
Okay.
There's two Bishlema La'ulas.
Bishlema La'ula.
They both say the Gemara provides a partial answer.
All right. The Gemara provides a partial answer. Bishlema La'ula, the Amar, the Yudua, the Now, this is fine according to Ula, who says that when the owner is known to have despaired, all agree that it, that is the despair, affects acquisition. Abba Nami Biyodua Vidbare Hechol, because we can say that here too in the Mishnah the reference is to where the owner is known to have despaired, and thus the Mishnah is consistent with the opinions of everyone, that is, the rabbis and Reb Shimon. Elu Rabbah the Amar the Yodua Nami Machaluka Kes. But according to Rabbah, who says that the dispute applies even where the owner is known to have despaired, hot money. Who is the Tana of this Mishnah? Law Rabbanon. It's neither the rabbis, the law Rabbi Shmuel, nor Rabbi Shimon, nor Rabbi Shimon.
Oh boy! Now we got to figure out why that is. Okay, so it's good according to Ula. Why? Because Ula says that the whole machlokes between the Chachamim and Rabbi Shimon is only where we do not know that the original owner was Miyayish on the item that was taken from him by the tax collector or by the Ganav. But where we do know that he was Miyayish, he said, meaning he says by Chesed Kiss. So in that case, Ula says that both Rabbi Shimon and Chachamim will agree that Yeush will be Kona, and that will be explaining why the Mishnah says Harei Yeush Lo in both of those cases of the tax collector and the listing. But according to Rabbah doesn't hold that way. Remember, Rabbah is the one that says that even when we know that he said the words, Vayli Chesed Kiss, still there's going to be a machlokes between Rabbi Shimon and the Chachamim. as it says in the Mishnah. In other words, according to Rabbah, even when he says "Vayil lechesron kiss," the Mishnah in Kalim has a machlokes between Rabbanan and Rabbi Shimon, because remember, according to Rabbah, even when he says those words, he doesn't mean it 100%. Now, but it depends on whether he's a ganav or he's a listim. In other words, remember that in the case, what I want to do is I want to go back over this Mishnah in Kalim again, just to see. I'm looking to understand exactly what does it mean when the Gemora says over here, El Rabba Dioma Yedua Nami Machlokes Hamani. We have a problem. Who's the author of our Mishnah? Who's it going like in our Mishnah in Bava Kama? Lo Rabban below Rabbi Shimon. 1 second. Maybe Rashi will help us out. Is that possible that Rashi is going to help us out on that one? Don't think so. Oh, maybe so. Oh, I don't. We have this Rashi of B'Yedua Nami Machlokes. I don't know whether that's going on. I don't remember anymore. Whether that's going on our section of the Gemara or it's going on further up. Did we read this one yet? Already, this Rashi Dibur Masel B'Yedua Nami Machlokes. I think it will. Yeah, we already read it. That's for sure. We already read it. But maybe that will tell us exactly what's the explanation of the machlokes in the Mishnah Kalim. B'Yedua Nami Machlokes the Nami Dishma'inen to B'Yayish Amir Rabbanan. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So, in other words, even in a case where the Goslin takes it and the owner says, "Vayil lechesron kiss," Rabba is going to say, explaining the Rabbanan, the lo ha-yeush. It's not going to be a yeush in the case of Goslin. The kol shaita daite laminkata bedina. That's what and that's what the Rabbanan will say when a Goslin steals it. And then he says, "Became ganav the Reb Shimon." But according to Reb Shimon, that's what the guy's going to say if a ganav steals it from him. But each one of them is going to say that in the other case, that it is a yeush, and that was not right. That is what. And so that's what the Gemara means over here when it says Hamani lo Rabbanan below Reb Shimon, because the way that Rav was explaining it's only in one of the two cases that it's going to be a yeush. In the other case, even though he says the words, he's not really B'Yayish, because he's planning on he's hoping for an opportunity to be able to retrieve it from this guy in the Bezdin. In the case of the Rabban, that's his hope as far as the Goslin goes, and according to Reb Shimon, that's his hope as far as if in the case where it's been stolen by a Ganav. And so therefore, it's still difficult, according to Rabbah, in our Mishnah over here, because in our Mishnah over here we say that in both cases, whether it's a muchasin, who's the gazlan, or the listim, who's the ganav, in both cases it says because the Bailim is biyayish, and so therefore harei l'shalom. It's not so according to Rabbah. Okay, so that's the question. And now let's go to the answer that Gemora gives. The listim mezuyin. Who wants to read listim mezuyin? Louis, you want to read?
Belistim Mizuyin, the Rebbe Shimon, he.
Yeah.
It's an armed robber, and it's Rabbi Shimon.
Right. In other words, does Rashi say something over here? Yeah. Rashi's got two words of explanation over here. Second to the last line from the bottom of the Rashis.
Teach that it's listing that it's armed robbers, the Goslan who that they're considered bandits.
Right.
Oh, that's how
So,
Mizuyin means armed.
Armed.
yeah, Zayin, Kli Zayin. Kli Zayin he's armed. He's got Kli Zayin. He has instruments of weaponry. So now, what Rashi's pointing out is that even though up until now that we have been talking about, we've been saying that what it says in the Mishnah, when it says listim, we're talking about a ganav, which was admittedly a bit difficult to say because listim generally means a robber. But we were saying that just because we were forced to do so because we want to have two different cases that are telling us something. Now we're able to go back to saying that now we're saying that he's a listim mezuyin. Now we can't say anymore that he's a gun, right? A guy that's got a rifle or a gun, he doesn't need to go into your house in the middle of the night in stealth and steal something from you because he's afraid that if you wake up, he's gonna have trouble from you. He can come in into the bank in the 12 noon like that and hold up the bank because he's got the gun, he's got the Kli Zayin. So therefore he has a categorization as a gazlan. So now we've got two gazlanim in the Mishnah. We've got the tax collector and we've got the listim mezuyin. So both of those cases, we got to say that there's a chiddush in the case, and that's why we need both cases. And now we can say that according to Reb Shimon, the way that Ula explains, answering for Ula, in other words, the Gemora is answering for Ula and saying no, Ula is not difficult because Ula can explain that the Mishnah is talking about listim mezuyin, which means that we're talking about somebody as a categorization as a gazlan, and like that, Ula will say that not Ula, sorry, Rabba will say that according to Reb Shimon, he will say that the owner will definitely be miyayish in that case. He'll be miyayish in that case. And so now we got a way to explain the Mishnah both according to Ula and also according to Rabbah. But now the Gemara has a follow-up question over here on that. Ihachi, back to Leroy.
Hockey, Hayenu Gazlan. But if so, that the Mishnah refers to an armed bandit, that is the same as a customs collector, who was also a robber. Why would the Mishnah state the law of a robber twice?
Ah, there you go. That was the point that I've been trying to make over the last couple of days. We don't need the Mishnah to tell me two cases of a robber stealing, of a robber robbing, right? It does, if a robber is going to rob a horse or a donkey, and the din is that the owner is miyayish, so it'll also be the same din. We don't need to be told that when the robber steals his pinstripe suit, he's also gonna be miyayish. It's the same din, because it doesn't really matter what he steals. That's not the point. The point is that he's a goslin, and so a goslin, we say that the owner is going to be miyayish. And so now the Gemara is saying this answer that you've given to answer for Rabbah is got a problem with it, because it comes out that the Mishnah is being repetitive. It's saying the same din twice. Why does it have to say the same din twice? Once you told me once, I got it already. Don't need to be told the second time.
All right then. Well, the Gemara answers. Terei Gazane Gazalan. The Mishnah teaches the law with respect to two different kinds of robbers.
Okay.
The footnote here says, the Tana of the Mishnah, Reb Shimon, teaches that the owner may be assumed to have despaired. Despaired. Not only in the case of an illegal customs collector who robbed in full view of everyone, but even in the case of an armed bandit who conceals himself from all except his victim. Torah's Chaim. So, a robber can be like the customs collector, not using a gun, or could be using a gun. Does it all in? You can do it as you said in full daylight. He's got a gun.
Bit difficult of an answer, and I'll tell you why. So if we already know that a tax collector who doesn't have a gun, he's going to be miyayish, because he gives up on getting it back from him. Why would we think that we need to know about an armed robber that he would give up? Isn't that obvious? I would even say that all the more so he would give up. If he gave up from retrieving it from the tax collector, then surely he, who doesn't have a gun, all the more so in the second case that the Mishnah says that he's going to give up in the case where the robber has a weapon and he could kill him if he tries to oppose it. Mm-hmm. Why? I don't understand why this answer helps at all.
Well, I mean, you could say that the tax collector has the power of the government behind him.
That's his gun.
And that's like the gun, but it's much more powerful than the gun.
Yeah.
The government doesn't give back money. Whereas an individual you could bring him to Beis Din and he doesn't have his gun with him anymore.
Uh-huh. If he tries to retrieve it from the tax collector, he's starting up with the government. Whereas if he tries to start up with this person, even though he has a gun now, he's not going to oppose him now. But the fact he's not going to oppose him now doesn't mean that he's miyayish. He's biding his time so that he could take him to Beis Din and get it and have Beis Din get it out from him, which is possible to do. But from the government, it's not going to be so possible to do. And so therefore you might have thought to say that he will not be miyayish in the second case. Kamash Malan, that he is miyayish in that case as well. Okay. I hear. Okay, now the Gemora is going to bring a toshma. It sounds like it's coming to prove something. Let's see what it's going to try to prove over here. Who has read? Oh, Phil, you want to read?
If there's a where
I think the Gemara counters. I think.
we're up to Tashma.
Toshma.
Tashma. Yeah.
Tufshin, the last Tufshin of the line, it's like 6 lines up.
Toshma, Hagana v'Hagazlan. So the bandit, the Hagazlan, and the robber, the Anas, and the one who takes things away. Hakdishin, hektish, if they made something hektish, the truma, their truma is considered truma. That's interesting. Took it from somebody else, but their truma is still considered truma. Umasra and Maisa, and their Maisas are still considered Maisa. Mani, who's this going to? E Rabbanan, if it's a Rabbanan, it's a kasha. If you say that's going by the Rabbanan, that would be a kasha on the Gazlan. It would be a question on the robber. In Reb Shimon, but if it was Reb Shimon, it'd be a kasha on the Gana. It would be a question on the bandit. Bishlema Ula, this would be okay according to Ula, the Omar that says Biyadua Kani. If they know about it, if it was known, then it does acquire it. Hachinami, here also, Biyadu it if it's known, Divya call, it would be according to everybody, he. El Rabba, but according to Rabba, the Omar Biyadu Anami, Machochet, and everybody, that if it's known, it's be a Machochet's case, Mani, who's it according to? Lo Rabbanan, lo Rishimon. It wouldn't work for Rabbanan, it wouldn't work for Rab Shimon. Achinami also would be with listing Mizuyan. It would be with armed robbers. And Reb Shimon, I don't know if that continues now. It's Reb Shimon he hachi, if so, Hainu Gazlan, Trey Gana Gazlan. It would be that the Gazlan would be there'd be 2 types of robbers. The E-bite, Aman, they ask how misnishon is Rebbe he. It would be Rebbe. Okay, now we got another case in here. Rebbe popped his face in here. Right, so it'll be Rebbe. The Tanya, because it taught Rebbe, the Amar Gan of a Gazlan, someone who was a a bandit and a robber. The Kaiman line, established line, Kagazlan the Reb Shimon. He would establish the bandit according to the robber according to Reb Shimon. Okay.
Okay. So we introduced the third opinion that this price is going like. It's not going like Ravana, not going like Rishimon, according to that. But the Gemora has asks the same question, answers the same answer, and with that, the Gemora says just like we have to say this over here in this price, that's some type of a proof that we had to say the same thing in the case of our Mishnah here in Bava Kama. That the Mishnah Bava Kama is talking about a armed bandit, and it goes only according to Reb Shimon. So I see over here there's a Tosfos over here that I think Tosfos may explain. He may have also an explanation of to explain why it's not difficult that we're talking about two different. The two Gazlanim. Why do we need to talk about two Gazlanim? If we know that from one Gazlan he doesn't, he is Miyash, so we would also know from another Gazlan that he's Miyash. This is a Tosfos, it's the bottom Tosfos on the page, Toshma Haganav Hagazlan. And you have to be gorgeous over here. In addition, Trey Gabne Gazlan. So we're bringing up this point over the fact that we really got two different Gazlanim over here. We don't have a Gan and a Gazlan. We have two Gazlanim. So Tosfos says over here. Maybe I'll just read the Tosfos. We've got 4 minutes left. Umishum the mitmar. Tosfos is bothered by a question, and I think with this answer that he's going to give, he's going to answer our question that we have that the Gemora had also. The Brisa calls him a Ganav. So how can we say that we're talking about a Gazlan? The Brisa calls him a Ganav. Yeah. So Tosfos says over here, Umishum de mintar mi'inshe, because he secretes himself from people. Kari leganav. That's why we call him a ganav, because in a certain sense, he acts in a certain sense in that one aspect like a ganav that he hides from people. That's what a ganav does. He hides. So now we got to explain though. So if so, then why do we say that he's got a din of Gazlan if he hides? On that, Tosfos says Afugah below Mishal and Kefo, even though he's not an actual halakhically certified ganav, who the Torah says pays kefil, Laman de Omar Gazlanhu. According to the view that says there's an opinion that says in a Gemora somewhere else, that's a Gemora that is in Nun Zion, that he has a halachic status as a Gazlan, and therefore he's not going to pay kefil. Okay, so I don't quite see how this is going to fit into the Gemora over here, because I have a question, but because I just don't see it. It's getting a bit complicated over here with the Ganav and the Goslin. Okay. So we'll leave that maybe for tomorrow. Bez Hashem. All right.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Take care, thanks.
Oh, and I got we got the wire loop. We got it. My wife saw it yesterday. Thank you very much. Thank you. It was
the money. Yeah, you're welcome.
more than you said.
What?
It was a lot more than you said.
Really?
Yeah.
All right,
Check
I'll have to check it.
it out.
Well, thank you for teaching so much over the Benes Manim. It's I'm sure it's not easy for you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yashikoyach. Everybody that wants to learn during Benes Manim. Kol hakavod.
That's right. We need to learn. You need to teach. All right. Have a great day.
Amen. Hashem Yishmor.
Chodesh Tov.